Have you ever wondered what truly keeps us vibrant and alive well into our golden years? Is it just diet and exercise, or is there something deeper, something that lights up our hearts and souls? At 78, I've learned a secret that science is only now catching up to: the way we love, connect, and stay intimate in our relationships can add years to our lives. Today, I'm sharing 7 scientifically proven signs that predict how long you'll live after 70, woven through the lens of love and intimacy. These aren't just numbers or studies, they're lessons from a lifetime of loving deeply, losing, and finding my way back to joy. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to hear might change how you see your relationships and your future. You'll discover how small, heartfelt moments can extend your life, the mistakes we all make that dim our spark, and how to reignite the fire of connection, no matter your age. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I encourage you to click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated on all our latest content. Your support means the world, so if this resonates with you, please give it a thumbs up to help spread the message. I'm eager to hear your thoughts. If you enjoy what you hear, comment 1 below. If it doesn't hit home, leave a 0. Your feedback helps me create videos that speak to your heart. Now, let's dive in. Picture this: a cozy living room, a crackling fire, and 2 people who've shared 50 years of marriage sitting side by side. That was my Aunt Clara and Uncle Tom, the kind of couple who made you believe in forever. Clara was 92 when she shared her secret with me. She said, "Maggie, it's not the big moments that keep you alive, it's the little ones. The way he holds my hand when we walk, the way we laugh over burnt toast. That's what keeps my heart beating." Clara lived to 97, and science backs her up. Studies show that emotional connection and intimacy in relationships can lower stress, boost immunity, and even add years to your life. But what are the signs that you're building a life that will carry you far beyond 70? Let's start with the first one. Sign 1: you feel safe to be yourself. There's a warmth in knowing you can be your true self, flaws, quirks, and all, and still be loved. Science tells us that emotional safety reduces cortisol, the stress hormone that ages us faster than time itself. I remember a moment with my late husband, George. We'd been married 30 years, and I was having a rough day. I snapped at him over something silly, burnt coffee, I think. Instead of snapping back, he just pulled me into a hug and said, "I love you, even when you're grumpy." That moment wasn't about passion, it was about safety. I could be imperfect, and he'd still be there. That's the kind of love that keeps you young. But here's where we stumble: many of us hide parts of ourselves, afraid we won't be enough. Over time, that fear builds walls, and those walls block the connection that science says we need to thrive. Sign 2: you share laughter every day. Laughter isn't just medicine for the soul, it's a literal life extender. Research from the University of Maryland found that laughter improves blood flow and heart health, key factors in longevity. My friend Ruth, who's 85 and still dances at weddings, swears by this. She and her partner, Ed, have a ritual: every evening, they share one funny story from their day. One night, Ruth told me, Ed recounted how he accidentally wore mismatched shoes to the grocery store. They laughed until tears streamed down their faces. That shared joy isn't just a moment, it's a deposit in their emotional bank, strengthening their bond and their health. The problem? Life gets heavy, and we forget to laugh. We let stress steal our joy, and without laughter, our hearts grow weary. Sign 3: you touch without expectation. Touch is a language older than words, and science proves it's vital for longevity. A study from the Journal of Gerontology found that regular, affectionate touch, like holding hands or a gentle hug, lowers blood pressure and improves mental health. But here's the key: it has to be touch that asks for nothing in return. I learned this from watching Clara and Tom. Even in their 90s, they'd sit close, her hand resting on his knee, his arm around her shoulder. It wasn't about leading to something more, it was about saying, "I'm here, and I cherish you." Too often, we make touch transactional, only reaching out when we want something. That creates pressure, not connection, and it dims the spark that keeps us alive. Let's pause for a moment. These first three signs, feeling safe, sharing laughter, and touching without expectation, are more than habits. They're choices that build a foundation for a long, vibrant life. But they don't come without effort. The biggest mistake we make is assuming love takes care of itself. I've seen it in my own life. After George and I hit our 25th anniversary, I got comfortable. I stopped noticing the little things, how he'd leave me notes on the fridge, how he'd kiss my forehead before bed. I thought our love was strong enough to coast. But love doesn't work that way. It's like a garden, neglected, and the weeds creep in. For us, the weed was distance. We were still together, but we weren't connected. Intimacy faded, not because we didn't love each other, but because we stopped nurturing the small moments that science now tells us are critical for health and longevity. Here's a story that changed how I saw this. My neighbor, Helen, was 72 when her husband, Frank, had a health scare. They'd been married 40 years, but their relationship had grown routine. After Frank's recovery, Helen made a choice. She started leaving little notes for him, just like they did when they were young. "You looked handsome mowing the lawn today," one said. Frank started responding, small gestures, like bringing her coffee in bed. Those tiny acts reignited their connection. Helen told me, "I feel like we're dating again, and it's made me feel alive." Science agrees. A 2020 study in the Journal of Aging and Health found that couples who actively nurture emotional intimacy report better physical health and longer lives. So, how do we cultivate these signs in our own lives? Let's talk about 2 practical steps you can take today. Step 1. Create a safe space for honesty. Start with 1 honest conversation a week. Ask your partner, what's something you've been feeling lately that you haven't shared? Then listen, really listen, without fixing or judging. When George and I were drifting, this saved us. One night, I asked him, "Do you feel like I'm really here for you?" He admitted he felt I was distracted, always busy with the kids or work. That hurt, but it opened the door to change. I started being more present, and he started opening up. That honesty rebuilt our safety, and it can rebuild yours too. Step 2. Make laughter a ritual. Find 1 moment each day to share a laugh. It could be watching a funny show, recalling a silly memory, or even poking fun at yourself. Ruth taught me this. She and Ed keep a laugh jar where they write down funny moments and read them together at the end of the month. It's simple, but it's powerful. Try it tonight. Tell your partner about the funniest thing that happened to you this week. Watch how it lightens the air between you. These steps aren't grand, but they're profound. They're the threads that weave a life of connection, and connection is what science says will carry you far beyond 70. But we're not done yet. There are 4 more signs to explore, and they dig even deeper into the heart of love and longevity. Let's dive into the next sign that science says can predict how long you'll live after 70, and it's one that hits close to home for me. Sign 4. You forgive and let go. Holding on to grudges is like carrying a weight that slows you down, and science backs this up. A 2019 study in the Journal of Health Psychology found that forgiveness reduces stress and improves heart health, both key to a longer life. I learned this the hard way with George. Early in our marriage, we had a big fight over money, of all things. I held on to that resentment for months, replaying his words in my head. It wasn't just hurting our relationship, it was hurting me. I felt tired, tense, and disconnected. One day, I decided to let it go. I sat him down, told him how I felt, and we talked it out. That act of forgiveness didn't just heal us, it lightened my heart. But here's where we falter. We think holding a grudge protects us, when really, it's stealing our vitality. Forgiving doesn't mean excusing bad behavior, it means freeing yourself to live fully. Sign 5, you keep learning about each other. The best relationships never stop growing, and that growth keeps you young. A study from the American Psychological Association shows that couples who stay curious about each other, asking questions, learning new things, report higher life satisfaction and better health in old age. My friend Sarah, who's 80, told me about her and her wife, Linda. After 35 years together, they still ask each other, "What's something new you've been thinking about?" One night, Linda shared her dream of learning to paint. Sarah signed them up for a class, and now they spend weekends covered in paint, laughing and discovering new sides of each other. That curiosity keeps their love alive and their minds sharp. The mistake we make is assuming we know everything about our partner. Life changes us, and if we stop learning, we stop connecting. Sign 6, you share purpose together. Having a shared goal or purpose fuels not just your relationship but your longevity. Research from the Blue Zones, regions where people live longest, shows that couples with a sense of purpose, like volunteering or building a legacy, live longer and healthier lives. Clara and Tom had this in spades. In their 80s, they started a community garden, teaching kids to grow vegetables. It wasn't just about the plants, it was about giving back, together. That purpose gave them energy, joy, and a reason to get up each morning. But here's the trap: as we age, we sometimes lose sight of purpose, especially after retirement. Without it, life feels aimless, and that can sap our will to thrive. A shared purpose doesn't have to be big, it could be as simple as reading to grandkids or tending a small garden together. Sign 7, you embrace intimacy, however it looks. Intimacy isn't just about sex, it's about closeness, vulnerability, and feeling desired. Science confirms this. A 2021 study in the Gerontologist found that couples who maintain intimacy, whether through physical affection, deep conversations, or shared vulnerability, have lower rates of depression and better physical health. For me, intimacy with George evolved over time. In our 70s, it wasn't always about passion in the bedroom. Sometimes it was lying in bed, talking about our dreams or fears, his hand tracing circles on my palm. That closeness made me feel alive, seen, and loved. The mistake we make is thinking intimacy fades with age. It doesn't, it just changes. If we stop prioritizing it, we lose a vital spark that science says keeps us healthy. Now, let's talk about why these last 4 signs, forgiveness, curiosity, purpose, and intimacy, sometimes slip away. The problem is, life gets in the way. We get caught up in routines, health challenges, or old hurts, and we forget to tend to the emotional roots of our relationships. I saw this with a couple I know, Mary and Jim, both in their late 60s. They'd been married 45 years, but their spark was gone. Mary told me, "We're together, but it feels like we're just going through the motions." They weren't fighting, but they weren't connecting either. The turning point came when Jim had a minor stroke. It shook them both, and Mary decided they needed to change. She started small, asking Jim about his childhood dreams, forgiving him for past arguments, and holding his hand during doctor visits. Those acts rekindled their intimacy, and today, they're closer than ever. Mary says, "I wish we'd done this sooner. It's like we got a second chance at life." So, how do we make these signs part of our lives? Here are 2 more practical steps to bring this home. Step 3, practice forgiveness with one small act. Think of one thing you're holding on to, a hurt, a misunderstanding. Tonight, talk to your partner about it, not to rehash the pain, but to let it go. Say, "I've been carrying this, and I want us to move forward together." When I did this with George, it wasn't easy, but it was like lifting a weight off my chest. That act of letting go can do wonders for your heart, literally and figuratively. Step 4, find a shared purpose, no matter how small. Sit down with your partner and ask, "What's something we could do together that feels meaningful?" It could be volunteering at a local shelter, starting a book club, or even planning a family reunion. Clara and Tom's garden started with one tomato plant. Your purpose doesn't need to change the world, it just needs to light you both up. Try this week. Pick one small activity you can do together that feels bigger than yourselves. Watch how it shifts your energy. These steps, honesty, laughter, forgiveness, and purpose, aren't just about love, they're about life. Science tells us that emotional connection lowers inflammation, boosts immunity, and even helps us sleep better, all of which add years to our lives. But more than that, they make those years worth living. I think of Clara, who at 92 still glowed when she talked about Tom. That glow wasn't just love, it was vitality, the kind that comes from a life rich with connection. So, here's my final thought: the secret to a long life isn't just in what you eat or how you move, it's in how you love. The 7 signs we've explored: feeling safe, sharing laughter, touching without expectation, forgiving, staying curious, finding purpose, and embracing intimacy, are choices you can make every day. They're not always easy, but they're worth it. Because when you nurture your relationships, you're not just building a stronger bond, you're building a longer, brighter life. I want to hear from you. What's one small thing you can do today to deepen your connection with someone you love? Drop a comment below. I read every one, and your stories inspire me. Maybe it's holding your partner's hand tonight, sharing a laugh, or forgiving an old hurt. Whatever it is, take that step. And if this video touched your heart, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more stories and insights to help you live fully, no matter your age. Your support keeps this community growing, and I'm so grateful to have you here. Before we go, let me leave you with this: love isn't just a feeling, it's a lifeline. Think about the people who make your heart sing, the ones who've been there through thick and thin. They're not just your past, they're your future. So reach out, connect, and keep loving deeply. That's the real secret to living long and living well. See you in the next one.